first guest, or have you had one guest?
I think I've had like 8 guests so far.
8 guests?
Yeah. So, but I'm only published like 3 or 4 so far.
Okay. So because I've been watching your stuff, and I've literally, because you're low key, you're like one of the only people I know that can get into stuff that I actually like talking about, which is spirituality and attracting and everything. So like whenever I hear your stuff, it hypes me up. I'm sharing it. I'm trying to show people around me. Oh, I love it, bro.
Dude, that's awesome. So I'm stoked that we're able to like jam on. I mean, 100%. We talk all the time about universe and spirit stuff and deeper.
I think actually you planted the seeds way back when, and I thought you were crazy back then. And this is when I had zero self-awareness, and you kept planting the seeds, and I was just like, whatever, Oscar. And then I stayed. There was a stage. I stayed up 13 days in a row in Houston.
Oh, we could get into that story.
Crazy spirituality shift. And then right after that, driving from Houston, Texas to Vegas, flew off a 50-foot bridge.
Almost died.
No scratches, though. No, nothing.
Totally blessed.
I saw a horse that wasn't there walking towards me after. It's totally sober, withdrawing, but sober. And it just walked up to me, and I heard and I was just like, and ever since then, just like learning and it just being more present, being a good person in general.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So we'll circle back on that whole story, because I feel like your story is really dope. We've never talked about it in public. We filmed a documentary where we heard a lot of that stuff.
Right.
But I think like as far as like public out, like the whole story, people haven't heard the whole thing. And just for me I've known you a long time. I'm super proud of you, dude. I think that you literally have learned a ton, and you've gone through a ton, and like just being sober and overcoming those demons and like still living your life. Like, you're a powerful creator because you have always lived life on your terms, made a living, and like done this like entrepreneur thing too. Right. So like, you know what I mean?
As soon as I learned that 100%, I kind of just dove head first. And then literally 2 months into that, you popped up in my life again, because we went to high school together. But again, you popped up in my life, and I was like, oh shit, this is meant to be. Like, it's weird, dude, because I'm going to say this because when I was like 18, 19, I had the wherewithal to get "Love to Survive" tattooed under my chest, right? Love to survive. But I had zero self-awareness. So, but I knew that getting those words, I didn't see it anywhere else. I just thought of it because deep, like I was falling in love with that girl, Ray. And then out of nowhere, like I was like, I'm going to love everybody so she can love me. Everyone around her. And that's why I got "Love to Survive" under my chest.
That's pretty cool.
And then like now that I'm older, I'm thinking like, wow, Quest, you were low-key spiritual when you didn't even know. You know what I mean? Is that
everybody's spiritual.
Yeah, we are
and,
spiritual.
You know,
beings.
like whether you want to, I think how like powerful you become with that energy and that deeper level of yourself is like dependent on everybody's journey.
Right.
But I remember, just going back to like what you're saying back in those days, there's still people, my friend Mikey, I think you know little Mikey.
Yeah.
Well, like I'll do stuff and then I'll explain like why in the universe like I'm doing things in this way, and he'll be like, "Bro, all right, just cut it out with this universe shit, bro. Like for real, this is real life." I'm like, "This is real life, dog."
Yeah.
Like, you know.
That's what that's why I appreciate people like you and my roommates and my sister, like just because like it's very rare to be able to say something like that without people being like, oh, roll their eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very hard. It's so hard to the point that the few 1% like us that think like that and love talking about this stuff and think deeper and have solitude and everything, that like there's memes about us because no one else really understands it, but they will. That's one thing I do have faith about, is that everybody sometime will have a spiritual awakening, whether it's this lifetime, next life, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Do you think that?
I think, for sure. I mean, I had my enlightenment, and I think I was just like younger, and that's why like people were like I was already talking about it when I was younger, because I had mine when I was 23. I went like,
imagine, man.
Dude, I was like at that point, I was doing everything towards this business. I was like risking everything. I did everything, and then like my whole life I built up until then, like I epically, tragically failed, like completely. And I was like back in the room I grew up in, like looking at the ceiling, and I had this like profound thought, and I was like, well, dude, if I must have fucked up, because if I didn't fuck up, I wouldn't be in this situation, like hands down. So I was like, damn, I fucked up. And then I had a clean slate, so I was like, all I want to do is just like be happy. Like I'm just going to focus on that. So I just had like a regular job. I was like going to Tai Chi classes, meditating, like spending time on my own and getting that inner power. And that's where like a lot of that like base level universe understanding came from.
Really?
Yeah, and then after that, I like it was just like more like little by little self-development, and
Makes
then
sense.
now I feel like it's like my career. Like I self-develop like intentionally at like such a rapid rate.
Right.
Like just learning new information, expanding my consciousness, growing and expanding.
So I know I'm a guest, but I want to ask you one more thing. Do you think that having a kid kind of you learned more about yourself after you had your daughter?
Dude, that is a great question, man. Your podcast is gonna be dope.
I'm excited about it,
man. Having a kid change. Some lady asked me this morning, like, "Oh, what would you have advice for anyone wanting to have kids?" And I was like, "If you want to have kids, just have kids." But you are a completely different person. Like your reality and your expectations of how reality used to be, like before a kid, are not. It's non-existent. Your universe shifts, and it's completely different. And you have to operate and do things completely in a different way. Yeah. And if you don't adapt to it and you try to do things like the old way, you're going to be met with extreme failure. And I had a hardcore identity crisis for like the first 6 months of my daughter's life. Cause I was like, dude, what the F? I was like losing money. That's wild, I was like stressing out. Nothing was working. Yeah. That's nothing was working. Cause me and Judy had a system of doing things and she was removed from the system and the system was like collapsing and breaking. And then I was still trying to work the way I used to work, but then, the baby and her and stuff. So I couldn't work the way I used to work, but that was also a blessing because I was in a position where I took like a whole year off. Yeah, but I had to able to reinvent myself. Right. Yeah. And
so I have this.
Now I love it.
I've heard this theory that like when you like I believe that like even every breath we take we move into a different realm. Like you can't
every
see
moment
it, you know what I mean?
feel like is like
because you're a different person every little step you take, literal
every
step,
experience of every second you
everything
have.
you see different. So like that's how deep I think into that is like when you get into like any little thing, I call them little deaths. So like since we've been in this room we've already died like
every
times.
moment.
Yeah.
Your cells are regenerating and dying like every moment.
So there's a little death like that, but then whenever you're talking about a profound one when you had your daughter. And I think that's what happens when you're switching realities. And I know this sounds like a straight up like
no, I'm following.
You know what I mean? Multiverse type shit. I'm just saying it for the viewers. Like I know this sounds like a Marvel movie or whatever, but I'm dead serious. Like because of my spiritual awakening, when you have a profound shift like that, I feel like the universe literally does something like make you go through struggle in order to get to the next best part of your journey. You know what I mean? And that's 100%. Why you needed to go through that. The only reason why I say that is because when I went through detox, I had to go through something like that.
Yeah.
Anytime I went through anything
was
wild.
Was that the biggest life like experience that that story?
I'd say cancer.
Okay, yeah, cancer.
Having cancer but I was 12, but I was having weird things when I was 12 because I was thinking like, am I Jesus in this lifetime? I was literally thinking that kind of stuff. Even don't kill me for that, but I was literally thinking stuff like that. I'm 12 years old, and I'm like, how did I survive that? Like, you know what I mean? I remember walking through Leavitt Middle School, looking up and just being like, I think I'm something, right? I just had that wherewithal because I was lonely. No one wanted to talk to me. I had hair falling out, PICC line sticking out. So I was just like in my own head the entire time, So that was a pretty profound shift, and my mom brought me to every single I
remember
type of church. I had people putting their hand I was 12 with that going on, and I didn't know any better, so I just was there. I was kind of just observing what was going on, and I happened to survive. You know what I mean? So then yes, but detoxing, and on the other side of the detoxing, near-death experiences. I've had about 40 of them.
40 near-death experiences?
I've overdosed about 40 times, maybe even a little less, maybe more. I don't know exactly, but around that many times.
What?
And the reason why I can say that is because I've had visions of when I was dying, and then when I would wake back up in this world, that I would forget my name. I didn't know my name. I didn't know where I was for 5 to 10 minutes.
What?
And then it would snap back in I'd remember everything. So yeah, and there was a couple of times that I was with people when that would happen. And
That's crazy.
And they said that you weren't breathing. So like that's how I kind of calculate it like that. So the way I think of death is I don't think we ever die. I think as soon as we die on this earth, we just either move in. I don't know exactly. Obviously, it's a mystery. But from my experience, I think it's like moving on to either another earth, another like near this same exact experience of earth, and then kind of just living and learning the same experience until you learn that lesson. Or when you do that death, you just wake back up in another universe. Like it keeps going on. I've heard that in my own head, who knows, I might be crazy, but I've heard that you just don't die. Life is infinite straight up. Like you just don't die.
I think it is. I think you're right. I mean, I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Like the Jewish people like really study reincarnation, and I think that's what it is. It's either just like there's a book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's a great book, bro. You guys should check it out if you haven't. But it's kind of like talks about that, like either you did learn all your lessons in this universe already because you have had prior incarnations. Bro, speaking of that, I believe that I'm my grandfather on my dad's side. I'm him. I'm just a reincarnation of that
Same
that consciousness, because my grandfather died when my mom was like 6 months pregnant. And then I talked to my mom about this, and she's like, yeah, I had a like concern. I didn't want to be around him because I thought like I didn't want his soul to absorb or something. And then also my dad, like my whole life, I feel like I've been taking care of him. Like, you know what I mean? Even now he's like a little kid. Like I buy him toys and I send him stuff, and like I care about him a lot, and I don't judge him for anything. And so that whole thing, and then like his major like life lessons that he learned, I feel like, because he like cheated on my grandma a bunch, and she was a mean lady, and like whatever. So like in this life, I feel like I'm really like conscious of like being super loyal to my wife, building a happy family, like doing this aspect of it, because like I could who knows, I could have been someone else, but like choices, if you progress through like this human existence and you get to your final like rebirth or whatever, who knows, it might be like 3,000 rebirths, like you know, since like ancient history, like, and you learn everything you need to learn as a human. Then I think the next is like what maybe people would consider angels or elevated consciousness, just like it's just another dimension of higher consciousness. There's another book I read, it's like I Am the Word. That shit talks about very similar things, and these are it's consciousness and beings that are just like of higher consciousness. Because there's like, bro, there's a bunch of books like Asking It Is Given, super popular book,
I've heard about that one.
Amazing book, and like that's what started opening up my idea of like, wow, maybe there are angels or higher spiritual beings around us, because it's written as if it's a channeling, like they just like meditate and they let like a higher being take control of them, and then the words came out.
Makes sense.
So that's legit. That's a book.
I forgot.
It's legit. It's a
Ra.
Ra's another one. I read Ra. But that led me, Asking It Is Given led me to Ra, and that book was fucking sick too. But then the book Asking It Is Given is one of my favorite books. And if you take any of the information in there and it's applicable and it's like valuable to you, you're like, holy shit. Well, then did they stream this from a higher, like, I don't know, but it's good shit. Like, you know, and they're like saying that that's how they encountered. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So then I read Ra, and then I Am the Word. And those are all like books that were, streamed from like a higher consciousness or whatever.
That, and that's the stuff that I love listening to. There's this guy Bashar. Have you seen him?
No.
So this guy, he's Bashar. So he's basically, when he closes his eyes, I forget his earth name, but when he's literally closes his eyes, he syncs his brain up with another consciousnness that says they're in a ship up there or whatever. And this dude's famous now. And he's like literally just about how this alien Bashar is the alien's name,
the being, whatever.
Yeah, that's what they call it too. So like, and it's basically like talking about, that's where I learned the more you follow your passion, the more the universe gives you more to be excited and passionate about. So that's valuable. Even if it's just like little actions, you know what I mean? Like if you're excited to to just say hi to someone.
Yeah.
Like like with no judgment of your own like excitement, be like, oh, why would me being excited to say hi to someone, or just walk outside and look at the sun, whatever it is, the more you act on your excitement or anything you're passionate about, the more it'll attract to you. And then obviously the gratitude stuff, and then that's basically all he talks about.
That's valuable. That's
and then
really dope.
The one thing that he said, which was hard for me to wrap my head around, was that we're all like, it wasn't hard on the sense of him being like we're all our own like planet basically, but like each human is our own planet,
like their own universe.
Universe. But so like what we're paying attention to, because people were asking him like questions, so he was basically saying what you think about will stay on your version of Earth. We are all on our own versions of Earth, and then we always shift versions of Earth, but we'll be with same people, but it'll be different consciousness. They just remember you because it's just like infinite like that. It's hard to explain, but I think
I'm following you. I really I think that's really dope, and it's true. And that goes back to what we were talking about in the car, is like that's when you're like a infinite and you understand that you are your own universe, because there's trillions and trillions of cells inside your body making you up. And that matter is just really fucking vibrational space. It's not even actual together. It's just space vibrating together. And so we're trillions of cells and that energy vibrating together. And you realize how powerful you are just to be alive. Every human is blessed with these powers. But then you start to apply. This is what's amazing about humans, is we are able to observe our surroundings, and the universe or the earth has like laws that we could apply and get results with, like gravity. Like if you see freaking something fall, you're like, I observed that's gravity. If I throw something, it's gonna fall. Like, and then you're able to predictably create that result. And that's with everything. Attraction, like like what you're saying, you get super excited, passionate about what you love or what you're excited about, and then you just do that, and then you attract more of that. Like what we talked about, like monetizing your community. Like I'm super passionate about that right now. And boom.
That's why I think about, as soon as you say something like that, it's like planting a seed. Even if I don't act on it right away, it's there because you said it or I heard it somewhere.
Creates
and then out of nowhere, reality. It creates a path that I can choose. Or if there's something that I am not excited about, maybe it'll be like a little
different path.
But it just keeps breaking apart until you are your passion. Basically, you are literally your passion. There's no difference between you and your passion, highest self. It's all the same.
Yeah,
that's wild, dude. And then I thought about the being here in the moment instead of always thinking that you're chasing it. It's here now, and that's where I get in a lot of like clashes with friends, is when I start just saying I'm already living my actual dream right now. Because I am. I'm happy. Everything's getting paid for. I'm just happy.
Yeah, this is a dream.
I'm doing exactly what I love doing. This, sitting here talking to people like you.
Let's go.
And low key, we attracted this way before we even knew what we were doing. And people do that all day long. Even people that aren't aware, they're always manifesting. They might not be manifesting the things they want because they're concentrating on negative things sometimes.
Right.
But
they're manifesting that thought. They're creating dude. That's how you could judge what you're thinking, is just look at your world around you. It's like, what do you...
It's a mirror. That's what it is. That's what I was trying to say.
Your reality is clay. It's like a clay mirror of your thoughts.
So when you smile, the world's smiling back at you. Your universe is literally smiling back at you. When you're in a happy mood, everything's going to be happy to you. When you're pissed off, everything's going to be pissed off at you. You know what I mean?
That's so 100% facts and truth. It's just like cool to talk about it, and maybe some people aren't aware of that yet, or like your power, because it's you as a human, you have the power to create anything like that is around you
pretty much instantly too.
Yeah, dude, so quick, like all the time. I will do things and I'll see instant results. So
here, I want to just pull one of these for you.
Let's do it.
So number 1 through 30, pick a number.
27.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Sorry, I didn't mean to pick such a far number.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So, this is what I do on stream, because these are not tarot cards. These are like super attractor positive affirmation cards, and I just read these all the time because it just literally makes me smile.
Yeah.
And it makes me think deeper, which I am loving. So this says, this is for you, bro. So this says, appreciation dissolves all blocks. So gratitude, appreciation dissolves all blocks in your life to the presence of your super attractor power.
Let's go.
That's deep, bro. So literally, so you already knew this too. You already knew this, but like appreciation, like the more you really sit in your how grateful you are about your life, it dissolves. It literally dissolves any blockages
I love
to
that.
your super attractor power. Like you literally, I didn't mean to do it like that, but literally, like
it's true.
anything you want to come into your life. All you got to do is sit
Just
in gratitude.
appreciate, dude.
Oh man, that's so powerful.
I mean,
bro. I love that.
That's yeah, dude. That's what it's amazing to be a human is. Like, there's a counter. You need those reminders, and those are super valuable
great,
because
bro.
just thinking about that, yeah, it's like I do have a great life. I love my life
Yeah.
so hard, bro. But then on the flip side, I look at myself like. From the ambitious side, like, dude, you're just chilling, like, you're not doing anything, like,
I think you need a good balance of both.
Yeah,
right?
you need a balance of both. And too much ambition is a sickness. I forget,
You'll get sad.
Yeah, you'll get sad and
if
you don't appreciate
have a balance
what you have.
between everything in your life, unless you don't have any other like responsibilities that you've manifested in your past life, but like say because there's people that are consistent with one thing that you're obsessed with. For example, like when I was doing those videos, those cool slow motion videos for clothing brands, I was actually obsessed with editing. It was like my thing. It was like anything other than that, I was just wanted that and that only at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that, when I was fully into that, I feel like if I would have just kept doing that and even though I did keep doing that, that's where all my success pretty much like the main success came from, right? Because like I just was so consistent, 4 videos a day. It would be like 10 videos a week type stuff, and it was just kind of me just producing it constantly without even thinking about anything else, just because I was obsessed with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where my my success, at least monetarily, came from, and like from social media and everything. And then I think what ended up happening was it literally, it's not even a thought or a think. This is what happened. I started getting insecure about those style of videos, right?
Really?
I started getting insecure about those style of videos. And I was like, I need to do something else, like to capture people's attention, or like I need to do something else to like, what's it called? Like do what's it called? Like comedy or something. Like, I need to start talking in my videos or something, which was a right thought. But if I would have been more obsessed and just like didn't let other people's opinions, I probably would have ventured off to something else that was more seamless, no friction, instead of like me being like, no one else likes this. I worried about other people's opinions about my content, so I switched it. And then that's what kind of like gave me a little bit of rockiness. And then I went to rock bottom, even though I needed that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the whole manifestation thing anyways, too, because it kind of I needed that to push me to another level. You know what I mean?
I love this. So let's, like, for the viewers, I'm getting everything with context, but let's just, like, pivot the story. So, like, I think that everything happens for a reason, and I'm hearing you. I think that had to happen, and your story and your journey had to play out that way so that it could get you to this point, and you would never got to this point without going through that. But that process, like, from back to those days when you were obsessed with making those videos till like today, is a crazy story.
Wild.
That maybe you could share. Like, so, and that's why I like the Pathfinder podcast. It's kind of like, share your path on how you got to where you're at today. So, like, if we picked it up from the
I got Pathfinders on here.
Tatted.
So okay.
So how was your journey from like blowing up on social media, making really dope content, to what you're doing today and how you're so passionate about spirituality?
Love that. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying my 20s, entire 20s, up until 29, literally. So I had zero. I wouldn't say zero, but pretty much zero self-awareness. Like I was just kind of, do you know what the monkey brain is?
Yeah.
Like I had a monkey brain. Like I just went towards anything that made me not passionate about. A lot of times I did, because obviously you're passionate about it, you do it a lot of times. But it was more like monkey brain, like going towards addictions or like any type. If I wanted junk food, I eat it right away,
Like
or just didn't care about anything else other than just going towards what that monkey brain wanted, not thinking consciously about anything. That was my entire 20s. So what happened was I did find a passion with social media and everything, but I was a lifeguard. I was a lifeguard doing lifeguard things, and I was dating a girl.
Yeah.
And she basically just wasn't the right one. She was just young. I was young. And I just kind of thought I can do more. And I saw other people on social media when I first made it in 2012. And I was like, I can do this. Look, I have tattoos, and with my ego still very big, I was like, I'm better than these people. So I had super crazy, what's that word? Like, what's that word? Visions, but more.
Delusion?
I was.
Ambition?
Why am I blocking?
Super
No,
crazy.
like crazy, like illusion. Like I was like, what's that called? When you're
What were like
you have positive
intentions?
No, it's like you're. Damn, what is that word? I'm having a. It's like when no one else believes you except for you, and they think you're.
Like you're trying to prove it to them?
No. They think you're like loony. They think you're crazy. But what's the word that like you're the only one that has faith in yourself, but they think you're crazy and loony. So like you're like you look crazy to them. Like
yeah.
What's that word though? There's a word that everyone has. You know what I'm trying to say. Delusion.
I said delusion.
No, I don't think you did, because I would have popped out of my head. So
Delusional.
Delusion. So like it's I had this crazy delusion in myself that I knew that was gonna happen. Right? I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I absolutely knew it, but no one else was like. They were like, "What are you?" Like they didn't. A lot of people would maybe say it to me, like, "What are you talking about?" But most people were like, "Okay," roll their eyes, and I'm like, "I don't care. I'm doing this. I am doing this. I have this crazy delusion, and I knew it was kind of a delusion, but I knew it was going to happen because I could see it, envision it so perfectly clear to the point I was like, don't care what anyone else says. That's all you need, too. I didn't care about my, but this is the bad part. I didn't care about my health. I didn't care about anything except for getting to that part. But I didn't know this whole thing that I know now, that if you just experience it right now, it'll come faster.
Even faster, yeah.
So, but what I was doing was like, I got to get there. So that was the difference. But anyways,
and that's how you
still
became
did help, right?
Famous on social media,
right? So the optical
illusion.
No, the
obstacle.
No.
Objective.
No. What's that freaking word? No, hold on. There's negative and positive. What the heck? So positive, now what's the word?
Reinforcement?
No, positive. The word that we were thinking of, delusion. Positive. I had so much positivity and delusion in myself that I just had a
tunnel vision
straight
to the goal.
To that. But I just didn't believe it was here. So it did take me like 9 to 10 years to get there to that vision. And once it finally did happen, I was like, well, now what? You know what I mean? Because I did get everything, but I wasn't what I thought it would be. You know what I mean? And everyone says that. I know they do, but it's true. It's like scary true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until So basically, I was a lifeguard. Then I got my first face tattoo.
Blowing up.
Yeah, I was at 50K followers on Instagram. I kind of had an ego, just doing steroids and stuff like that. So I really had this blowed up ego. And then I had a girlfriend at the time that literally we had the same apartment, living in a small studio apartment down in literally downtown Vegas. So I I got her at a job at the same place as me. Didn't work out. That's a short story. Didn't work out. So she left that apartment, moved back to her place, and I was by myself. And that's when I moved to the bartender, and because the bartender didn't care about tattoos and stuff. So I was like, okay, this is a place where I can still make money. And I had no idea you can make money on your own until like I was doing this social media thing thinking it was just for cool points and clout. I didn't know you can make money. So like back in 2012, 13, 14. So once I was bartending, I was like, I was starting to meeting people that coming in for tattoo conventions and stuff. And I was like, I only see you on TV. What the heck is so? Not in the moment, but now I'm looking back at that like that was the universe like showing you like, look, you're starting to attract it. These are little signs like showing you like, look, you're doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And subconsciously it was affirming everything for me. You know what I mean? So anyways, there was a
should just keep it out.
There was a little time when I think I did the bartending for like a year, and then because the lifeguarding was year round. This bartending was only for like a year, and then I had to get out. So I was scared because I was like, how am I going to make money? That's when I met Eric, right? And he taught me, even though it wasn't in the best way. I started drinking every day. It was weird. But the first day I left that bartending job, he took me to the Las Vegas sign with a card that you put in the camera that had Wi-Fi in it. And I just took pictures of people, and they would give me tips. And we made like $500 that night. And I was like, the code. It went like this. It was like, I was like, what? And the funny thing about it is Tahiti Village was right across like literally right there next to it. So that was wild to me because I was looking at the place I was working at in the past for 7 years straight and making $500, like half of my paychecks right there, just like kind of chilling.
Couple hours.
Right. So I was like, whoa, that's wild. So that's how me and Eric's journey basically started, was doing that. And I looked up to him as a father figure and everything. So I basically was just shadowing him, and I was like, take the wheel, Eric. You know what I mean? I was like, take the wheel. So there was a lot of things he taught me, a lot. Yeah. And then I kind of put my own style onto what he taught me, right? So I would basically and that's actually where me and you came back together, was with Eric. So then like that's where the Pathfinders kind of started.
That was the hub for it. That's where it started.
And I think that, bro, if you think back on that, it was low-key like a magical time. Yeah. Even though there was a lot of struggle, but I think that's what makes the magical time, bro. Yeah. It forced us, that struggle forces you to work so hard. And we were all
in the same kind of boat. Like I had just got fired from my job, and I was like, oh dude, we're all in on this. Yeah. And it was magical. Like when I think about like how bad I want anything, it was like I think about those days, like how I was grinding in those days, like you know what I mean? And now that's the thing, and we talked about in the car, it's like our life is so chilling that it's hard to tap back into that place because you don't have that like passion.
Flow state. That's what it's called. The flow state. That's what I felt. I felt like I was flowing through it, but being so productive, like more productive than I've ever felt. You know what I mean? Because it was just fun. It was productive. It was everything, all positive things, just like almost like a drug. Yeah. And it literally, I was like, let's get up. I would get up like that was my energy. Yeah. That was my coffee. That was everything for me, was knowing that I was going to get a video or good content
we're going to do. Yeah, that's how I used to be too. Yeah, we're going to make some freaking content. Let's go.
I'm getting that back slowly but surely. But it's a different type of content. So it's the content I was making back then was just like surface level, like, you know what I mean? Ego boosting, so that's why I like where we are right now, because we've been through some shit now. Yeah, that we can talk some deep content.
We've been doing this social media shit for
a long time. and now that we have been through some shit that we can teach people some wisdom from, that's where we gain like true diehard fans that believe in the things we're talking about, that we can actually talk to people instead of at them, and you know what I mean, or just dancing around, looking to have them just watch us like that. Yeah. But we're actually connecting to them, to their core, to their spiritual self. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what I'm obsessed with right now.
Dude, we gotta monetize your community. I think you could freaking just literally impact so many more people. Yeah. Because like people also, like, your words are already heavy, but like when they pay a little bit, your words are heavier, and it creates
I
them
get
to
that too. I
take
100%
action and
understand
stuff.
that.
So, but anyway, so boom, you blew up on social media. Pathfinder forms. Everything's like amplifying. You get a cool ass car. You freaking start like, get your own apartment. You start having like worldly success off the social media. So you're like,
Right.
leave your job. You start blowing up. You're gaining worldly money success through social media.
And basically just by doing the things that I loved, which was working out, getting tattoos, and hanging out with girls. That's why I was like, this is my life, bro. I could not believe that getting clothing brands to send me clothes, and back then it would send me $75 to like, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I got free clothes, free box of clothes, $75 to make a cool video of myself to show people. I was like, yes, let's
You're
do
cracking
it.
the code all the way around.
So I thought that was the deepest anything could ever go, because I was like, what? That's it. That's all I want.
That's all I ever want.
Right.
How could I want anything else?
So that's when I started, like, just got into that. Once I would look at the tunnel before that, but as soon as I got my first clothing brand, I was in the tunnel. I was in it and didn't see really. I saw a light very thin at the end, and I didn't care. I was like, I don't care how long I'm in this struggle or process, because I love it.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the big, the big secret of success is loving the actual process. And that's why following your passion and what you're excited about is very important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you'll resent your time. You'll resent things if you're doing things like that you don't want to do.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
It's because it's fucking hard as shit.
Yes.
Building anything or doing anything is hard as shit. I think right now too we're glorifying like, oh yeah, we're fucking but it doesn't change the fact that we were eating McDonald's and like, you know what I mean, like struggling.
But so this is the difference. So I'm gonna give a quick little thing. So I'm glad you said that, because say I started this and I blew up with one video that was like makeup.
Yeah.
But I don't like makeup, but I blew up off that video from doing makeup.
And now you're doing makeup.
But now I'm like, I gotta keep doing that makeup videos, because that's what got me the success, right?
Yeah.
And it kept giving me success, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But luckily that wasn't the case. But that's a lot of people's reality right now. Like, for instance, a lot of people will get caught. Okay, this is perfect. I got caught into doing adult content that I didn't want to do.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I don't even know why I said makeup. This is my real life.
Real story, bro.
I got caught into adult content. I was like, this is what gets the likes, putting girls' booties on. I was like, yep, that's it. It's easy. I thought I liked it, but in reality, that's literally what brought in the depression. Anyways, it's a whole other story.
No, but this is
true.
in unlocking. Yeah, this was part of the real journey.
Literally, and I had to learn that. It took me a long time, because it is disguised as like heaven, but it's really hell. You know what I mean? You understand? So seeing all these girls, my whole 20s, I must have dated around and stuff, but with like maybe I don't even want to say it, but like 7 or 8 girls, 21 to 29. So like. I literally would date them. They would date me, wanting me to post and tag them.
Right.
I would date them because I need to post their booty on my page to get the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And it just kind of worked, but it didn't mentally for me. It worked for everybody else because that's what everybody wanted to see.
Right.
But me doing it and making an OnlyFans and stuff, there was always some voice in the back of my head saying, Quest, you don't want to do this. You know what I mean? But I just kept doing it because the girls that I was with wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And it was making some money. They were making really good money. And I was just like, might as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where my first, what's it called? The first roadblock.
Like compromise, the first
creative block came from, was because I was chasing something unaware of it that I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So as soon as I switched from doing the cool fashion stuff that I loved, obsessed with, as soon as I kind of switched to adult content, that's when my creative. I always wondered this too, and it's funny that I just think about this because I literally was wondering what did that, and it was switching to adult content.
Also though, in this period of time, so that I've known you the whole time, so just from my outside perspective, from Pathfinder beginning days, blowing up on social media content, to you doing adult content, that was from 2016 to 2018, 19. Then you start doing adult content. So that's like almost like a 5-year journey.
Yeah, I'd say 2017 when I went out to Cali, moved to Cali
Yeah,
for Soul
yeah,
and Clothing, and I was doing their social, like I was running their social media internship, basically paid internship. And then I met that girls out there because I was lonely. I had no friends, and I didn't know how to be alone at that time. Now I absolutely love my alone time. Back then, if I was alone, I'm like, I need to hang out with someone. So I was so alone and depressed out there. I was like hitting up every girl. Didn't care. I was like going to bars by myself. It was weird, dude. So that's what ended up happening is that when I went to, and then I met Sky. You can bleep her name if you want, but I met her, and she happened to live across the street. The first time I went to her house, my car got towed. Every time, this is some pattern I've known in my life. If a car gets towed in my life, that is the universe saying,
you're not supposed to be there.
Right, and it's happened a lot. So and when I got my car back, all 4 tires were popped.
No.
And I remember I wasn't spiritual at that time, so I was like thinking, oh, now I just got to fix it. You know what I mean? But now looking back, I'm like, wow.
The universe is always
it was literally
talking to
showing me a sign to not do that, and I just ignored it. You know? So hopefully the people that are listening to this can learn from this, even though most of the time, I'd say like 50-50. You know what I mean? Like some people will be like, whatever, he thinks it. But a lot of people will listen to this and be like, wow, that's happening to me. I need to look for that. You know what I mean? So I'm glad we talk about this kind of stuff. But that's when I started doing the adult content was
and you start getting depressed. So also I think it's important like to mention that like the drug use, like I feel like we're in Vegas and like at that age we're all like doing drugs and having fun, and it's just like drinking and partying. It's nothing major. And that's like everybody else. Like that's how everyone else gets into drugs. They're just drinking and partying, it's chilling, it's making the time a little bit more fun, whatever. You're making content, you're looking cooler. And then
feeling good.
Yeah, you're confident, whatever. So then you switch to adult content, you start getting like a roadblock, you start getting a little bit maybe depressed, more involved with drugs.
Yeah. And on top of it, I'm interning at Solon, which didn't give me time to do my own like creativity. Like I didn't feel like I had enough time to think of my own content, which at this time that's all I cared about because I didn't have spirituality at this time. So that's why even just believing in it or having faith in some higher power is important. That's why I don't tell anybody religion's terrible. Because it has importance because
the higher power aspect.
Like in my case, I didn't know what to believe. I didn't necessarily believe it, but at that time I didn't know. So I just kind of acted like an atheist would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why my depression literally because I didn't have any faith in anything. I didn't think life I thought life was just like nothing. I was like, we're here and just go. You know what I mean? That's what it was. And literally, as soon as I started seeing the truth and filters starting flying off of my reality, and I'm like, whoa, this is real. Signs are real. Karma is real. Not taking things personal, like things like that. Like the more I learned, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone, even when I'm alone. And it's funny because when I'm alone, I don't feel alone. And then when I'm with a huge amount of people that I barely know, like out in Cali, I felt crippled alone. Like and I was drinking like 6 to 10 beers a day. As soon as I met Sky, I started doing those fentanyls, and like it just rolled downhill. You know what I mean? Rolled. As soon as I met that girl.
But that was a long bender, bro.
It was a long roll.
It was a long bender for. So hold on. I got to pee so bad.
Ahead,
so let's pee and then we'll jump back into that.
Do your thing. There's gonna be a lot of good clips for this, man.
So many. This is really fucking.
So to start back into this real quick, let's just make this like a little segment. One more. There it
Card
is.
reading with Quest.
QuestG's cards. All right, so I'm gonna pick one more now. I'm gonna pick a number. Hold on. Let me think. I'm gonna shuffle. Actually, can you shuffle?
All right, I'll shuffle. Then get my energy in it, so this is like even more.
I spilled something on it, but just
Quest's cards are sticky for everyone that gets their cards read by him.
Can you imagine if I tried to do some sex alchemy on those? just like trying to make everything attract by doing that.
Hit it with some energy. I'm gonna give it some of my energy. All right, let's see. And just pick it, or are you gonna give me something to pick?
Here we go. Actually, let's do what? So 7, 9, 10. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 10 is 21. 3, 7, 10. So go to the 10. No, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
All right, here you go.
Oh, my favorite one in here, dude. I usually hang this up on my wall because I need this reminder.
Let's go.
As soon as I choose to see the light, the positivity, as soon as I choose to see the light in all dark corners, I redirect my power towards exactly what I want.
Let's go,
bro.
I felt that
Like so, like
in my chest.
So, like when. So I'm gonna switch it up to how I say it to myself. As soon as I choose to see the positive in any negative corners in life, you redirect your power towards exactly what you want. So like if you keep seeing negative stuff, if you could switch that to be like, what's positive in this situation?
That is a superpower.
That's when you shift right back to the power to bring exactly what you want into your life.
That is a superpower.
And it's very rare when people have that. Even for me, sometimes it's hard.
That's
because
a great
we're human,
reminder. Yeah.
But this is something I put on my wall because it's so important. It's simple. It seems simple, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier said than done. But I've been practicing that a lot. If something like, for example, I'm going to be open with this. I kind of was while I was streaming on TikTok. So the whole thing about moving into a new apartment, there was a lot of negative stuff going on, right? But I kept that positive thought. I kept having my faith, like the universe wanted this to happen for a reason. I moved into a place. Funny, the room I moved into is bigger than the full apartment. And I was like, whoa, wow. And that's a perfect example of if you ignore the negative and literally only see the positive, you got what you want. That's what you want. It's a superpower. You're literally right. It's a superpower. I love that. That's the one that we pulled, bro.
Let's freaking go.
That was awesome.
So you guys could see how like high of a conscious being Quest is now, and like how tapped in and tuned into the universe. So that's why this story is so dope, because like we're about to get into the down roll, the roll that caused him to come out on the other side better than he's ever been, better than I've ever seen him.
And literally, whoa, I'm glad you pulled that, because literally at the trench of that roll, this is what I had to do, was switch my thought from negative to positive. And I was like, whoa. And it kind of felt like my whole reality just literally shifted as soon as I switched from negative thought process to a positive. That's what I had to do. That was the only thing I literally had to do. And it wasn't even a secret. Like, it's something that's taught to people a lot, but it kind of goes in one ear and out the other, even for me.
That's facts.
But anyways, so
okay, so
go ahead.
No, so you met Sky, you're drinking, you're starting to do the fentanyl thing.
Yeah.
And then you leave Solon.
Yeah.
And then that's where we're at in the journey.
So I leave Solon. Me and Sky I moved to Vegas. Sky comes with me with her child. Love that kid. We moved back to Vegas. We have a beautiful house. Sky was doing prostitute stuff. Just bleep her name. But Sky was doing prostitute stuff, right? And then, so me knowing this and trying to be okay with it, even though I knew I wasn't, plus being zero self-aware of anything, pretty much drove me as soon as we moved into that house, I was like, this is great, right? As soon as I moved into that house, I'm about to cry. So it was a version of hell that I've never seen before, because I constantly just was paranoid, didn't have any higher power to look up to, couldn't tell anyone because I was embarrassed of the drugs I was doing. I didn't have anyone to talk to. Like I just was locked in that house with her, not understanding, and me not being empathetic towards her was a very important part. I should have been empathetic towards her. So it just ended up turning into a huge shitball hitting the fan, and I left the house, and that's when the crazy drugs started, like meth, and like, oh, dude, don't cry. It was wild. It was absolutely wild. You even saw me during that time when I was with that girl. See, and this is a trend that you guys will see, that I couldn't be alone. I needed to be with a girl at all times, right? at this time, like the only time I felt like I was being productive or happy, I had a girl by my side taking care of me, that because I felt like she had faith in me to make my dreams happen. But okay, anyway, so I was with that girl, will not say her name, but you came and filmed me one time. I had scratches all over my back. Do you remember this?
Yeah, when we did the AirPod thing.
No, I had these short AirPod.
I don't remember.
I had these shorts, right? I remember you were shooting a basketball scene, and I was wearing shorts.
Yeah.
I had scratches all over my back.
I do remember.
And I was just acting. I was just out there. I was up for 4 days that time, just living at this girl's house because I just broke up with this girl. I was dealing with that heartbreak from Sky, and then I was still wanting to have success. So I was trying. I didn't even have time to juggle this. I was just like, go. I didn't want to lay back and just acknowledge it, learn from it, and then move on. I just wanted to keep going and ignore my problems, basically. So what ended up happening is I got back with Sky after that for a little bit longer, and then we like moved into some really ghetto place here in Vegas, and it kind of felt like that's when I low-key started to trust her. Weirdly enough, this is a weird time for me because I remember thinking like, I'm just gonna trust. Either I trust her or I don't. At this point, I was like, whatever, do what you want, and I'll do what I want, and whatever happens, happens. And I think that little thing that happened, my shift in place right there that happened, even though I was still doing drugs, there was some type of whisper in my ear that said, just don't control.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what happened, why we ended up breaking up naturally instead of forcing a breakup like the last time. And that's why it was so kind of not seamless, but it was a lot more seamless than my past breakups.
Yeah.
So, and that's right after we broke up that time, I moved to Houston, Texas with that girl. And this is where the big ones happened because I started like doing these fake Adderalls, which might have been like some type of like acid mixed with meth mixed with anything, right?
Yeah.
And I was up for 13 days straight, no sleep. And I was just overthinking.
Yeah.
And I was just paranoid, thought the walls were talking to me. Upstairs neighbors might have made a step. I was like, who's that? Little things like that. But that was a part of my spiritual awakening as well. Huge, important part of my spiritual awakening was because I was learning from each experience that was terrifying to me. It was terrifying. I was paranoid. I didn't know what life was. I never thought about why humans were on Earth. Never even crossed my mind until that moment. And it was terrifying. Like filters literally flying off in front of me and me just seeing the fabrics of like humans' thoughts, cares, everything, hallucinating everything. So obviously the girl I was with, she was like, what is going on? You got to get out. And I don't, back then, obviously I had a little care about that or like animosity, but I left, started driving.
13 days up.
13 days awake, 0 sleep, got in my car, started driving back to Vegas, which is like a 36-hour drive. Halfway in New Mexico, in New Mexico, I'm driving, hallucinate. I'm literally seeing like shapes of bodies, but I'm sober, right? Like withdrawing. So like withdrawing hard, throw up all in my car.
No.
Yeah, it was terrible. So like, I'm like in the middle of a detox / need to pay attention, sick, everything. And I'm driving, right? And out of nowhere, something popped in my head like, maybe I can snort this Benadryl. So I put it on a plate, snorted the Benadryl, thought it would make me feel better. This whole side of my body shut down. And then I had a crazy seizure. And then my arm took control, flew off a 50-foot bridge, not just kind of like, it flew off a 50-foot bridge, popped all 4 tires. And I woke up. I'm like, I'm not hurt. No scratch. What? I couldn't really process it. I got out of my car, grabbed my big computer, grabbed my camera. Those are the only 2 things I cared about. Grabbed that, walked back up to the bridge so I didn't get hurt or anything. And then I started hearing sirens from all directions. And I just sat there. And I was like, damn, dude, this is terrible. Started getting a phone call. And I looked at it, my mom calling. I'm like, why is she calling at this time? This is weird. And then out of nowhere, I started hearing like
footsteps,
not footsteps, but a horse like trot. towards me, and then I heard it breathe right in my face. Heard it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Sober, withdrawing. And I'm like, what is going on? I didn't know what to think because I thought it was a horse or something that has hooves, like a horse or a cow or something, but I couldn't. It was right in front of me. I could feel it right there. I could not see it. It was right there in front of me, though. I could feel the breath on me. And then out of nowhere, 4 cops from each direction came, and it just felt, it kind of felt freeing at the same time, scared, sick still. And the cops were very nice, overly nice, weirdly enough. And they took my car, because it was totaled at that time. They took my car with me to the town before, because I was right in between like Albuquerque and this town. So they took me to that town. I was homeless for 3 days straight, sleeping outside of a gas station for 3 days. I even made a rap while I was there. I had like a blanket over, and I said something like, I got no friends, I got no bed, and stuff like that. So like I was just rapping and trying to like understand what was going on while being still sick. And I finally gained the confidence, or whatever that was, to post that I'm stuck here. And some girl, forget her name, I'm sorry, you are an angel, whoever you are. I forget your name, but she sent me like, she found me a dude that lives in that town, because she lives in there, that is a only taxi driver in that town. And even though it was $260 to get to the next town with a Greyhound, I paid it. I had to, you know what I mean? Because I had no ID. I had nothing. I looked like this. People were looking at me wild. So I was like, I just got to get out, while withdrawing and everything. Anyways, he picks me up like after like the 3rd night sleeping outside of the gas station. I had to sell that big computer in order to get the money to pay him. Took me to Albuquerque, got onto the Greyhound, and another 36 hours to get to Vegas.
Dang.
That was the story of that whole thing. It was probably, that was the biggest shift of my mental, because along the whole way, I learned to kind of like understand that my thoughts are not me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Because like there was so much things going on in my mind, but I had to be present, or else I would have got lost. I would have been stuck. I almost, even while I was homeless, I almost tried to hit up someone in that town to find more drugs. I would have been stuck out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
dude, and I think you like, for people, if that story didn't connect with you, there's like 1,000 other like terrible things that Quest endured that led up to that point. So it was the lowest you've been ever. Not only did you almost die, you're withdrawing, you went on this wild journey, your teeth, you didn't talk about the teeth thing with the girl.
Oh yeah, that was, yep.
This was like the biggest, this was like a 2-year shitstorm downhill, like explosion.
You're right. Explosion.
Just like you almost died. Like flying off a 50-foot cliff, like that could have killed somebody. Like someone could have died just from that.
And that's why I have that belief now, because it was like, there's no way. I came out of that with no scratch.
Yeah, and you survived cancer.
40 overdoses.
40 overdoses.
From fentanyl that we all know everyone's dying from, even just taking one.
Dude.
Right? So like the fact that I've been through all that and still here, that's why I believe in no one dies.
Well, and this is just to connect back to like again, this is what I'm passionate about, and that's all my brain's thinking about, is like the paid community. Not just like the fact that it's a paid community, but like, dude, imagine how many lives you could actually save.
100%.
Like you could actually save lives. Like you could turn like this, like maybe that's why God or the universe is keeping you, because even you just like saving one life, like is like a miracle.
Right.
But if you could save lives at scale, from sharing this, like
every time I do say something about this, like on my stream or even in a random video that I post, that's what happens. I get long messages from people saying, this is what's making me sober now and stuff like that. And I screenshot that, post it on my story almost every time, because that's what hits me. Like it really hits me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm the reason. It's because I don't know if you remember this, but I was low-key worshiping drugs. Like, because that's all I needed to feel good, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was worshiping. Like I didn't think it was worshiping,
but
because I needed it that was my only thing that I needed and cared about.
Yeah.
If I didn't have it, that's what I needed, right? So like I was promoting, and with that I was promoting it to all my viewers,
Right.
and that's why I think I'm almost positive that's why the explosion happened, was because I was
It's a lot of bad
same
karma.
with like Lil Peep.
Yeah.
Even though I think everybody's a good person at the core, they don't know this is just society.
It's just what you're doing,
Life
and then
is
you
tough.
get so deep into it
You
you
that
don't
it's
have
low
any
key.
emotions or
like that book you sent me,
Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah.
Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah, that one opened my eyes too. But anyways, like you just start drifting into that to the point that you're low key promoting it. You're like showing people.
You're in a hypnotic rhythm of it. Like you're like all about it. You're spewing it out. You're planting seeds in other people's minds, and you're getting
cool.
it, and you're involved in it.
Right.
And it's like
People
then there's
think it's
feds,
cool.
and like it's
Right.
just a whole ecosystem of that life.
So like as soon as that happened, I was like, frick that. I'm not letting anyone think this is cool ever again. Nothing negative think is cool ever again. So I don't even listen to music if it has anything negative in it. I'll even go deep as the frequency as the music that I don't want to listen to.
100%.
The people I'm around, I'm very conscious of people's energy nowadays. Like just if they touch my shoulder, I'm like, okay, I got to do something now. Or like I stay away from those people.
I gotta go clear this energy out right now.
Even if it's just like doing this and just acting like it, just knowing that I did something to flick it off, like just doing anything like that, just because, and that goes to the topic of why I'm celibate for 2 years now, and I'm not having sex until I'm married, because
that's a good goal.
Because I feel like that's the main thing, because sex I feel like is a spiritual contract. Like when you have sex with someone, you're just swapping energy with each other. So like if I have sex with a random girl, I don't know how many other energy she has in there, how many negative energy she has in there.
Yeah.
So every time we have sex, I gain that energy. I have no idea what it is.
Energy exchange, 100%.
So that's where I've been celibate. I don't watch porn. I don't do any of that, even though I was a huge believer in like that's bullshit. Why is everyone even thinking about that? But now I've seen those 13 days. I've been in the depth.
You've been in the industry too, and you've been on the other side of that. So you've been all in that world.
So I saw what was happening, especially on that 13 days awake. It's weird to say, but it's like I was seeing the negativity it was basically like an 13-day acid trip, like just basically seeing what the negative that I was promoting, and subconsciously I was doing it on purpose. I was going down on purpose so I can shoot up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and even though it was, that's the closest I can say I've ever been to hell, is Houston.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that when you go through hell, that you have to go through that in order to be prepared when you are your highest self to be conscious of if it ever comes in your way again. Because before, obviously, I didn't go through that kind of hell, that I didn't know to be conscious of if people were touching me or like having sex with random girls and stuff, right? So that was very important for me to go through, right?
Yeah, and just beyond that is just like everything you are now and everything you stand for today. And I think honestly, the future of it, like your massive success and the massive amount of people's lives that you're going to impact and change, for the rest of your life, because you're still like, we're only in our 30s, so that means we still have another 30 to 50 years of promoting only positivity. Like, you know what I mean?
Bro.
So like you've already like endured that to get your like freaking badass testimony, and it's not like it wasn't like just for that. It was like that was like a 10-year freaking lesson, dude.
It's the journey. Literally,
it was a journey.
I don't even know if this is my first life, 80th life. You know what I mean? So like, the fact that I learned this, and then whatever life I move into next, I'll have this in my DNA. This experience trapped in my DNA for good, and it'll always be it'll be like a thought in my head always, because in my next life, whoever I am, whatever I am, whoever I am, even if I'm the same person, just wake up as a baby me, these experiences will be like like just like a poke, like, hey, look, go the other way because you did that already last life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like what people call angels or this Holy Ghost or whatever.
Right.
It's one of those. It's like it's basically just being like, hey, you better not do that. Go the other way. And it's simple now. And I listen to that a lot. I've never listened to that before.
Well, because you have the experience too.
Right.
Like you had to have learned like that. But now you have the intuition, or you're more.
That's the word I was trying to say. Intuition. That's it.
Well, you're more like because of more of your alone time because more of your awareness, you feel and see these things that have always been there, but now you're more in tune, have that intuition that you could like take action.
That's it.
With your consciousness in a direction or whatever.
Intuition is I think of that as either my highest self. Because I don't. This is good. I'm glad I'm talking to you about this. So sometimes when I'm alone, I'll think and like just kind of close. When I'm meditating, I'll pretend that I'm talking to my like yesterday self.
What?
Do you ever think about that? Like if you ever just close your eyes and think about like just talk to your yesterday self and say you did this right, you did this wrong, maybe do this. And then think about this every single day. Now you're listening to words and you're thinking it's the one from the future talking to you because you're constantly talking to the one behind you. Oh, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I learned that from that Bashar guy too, that if you constantly close your eyes and you just talk to your past self and let them know like you did this right and wrong. Now when you're just going through your day and you're hearing things through your day, you're thinking that's your tomorrow self giving you intuition like, hey, don't do this and do that, right?
Yeah,
dude, it gives me
that's pretty dope,
bro. It's
I
such
never thought about
it's such a comforting feeling when you I trust myself fully now. I used to not, but now that I fully do trust myself fully, when I hear that voice and I know it's me coming from tomorrow, it just went through what I'm going through right now.
Yeah,
I have full trust in letting that intuition, that wisdom come through me and not overthinking. That's one thing that helped me to stop overthinking. That's a trick that I've learned. You know
that's
what I mean?
Dope. Dude, that's sick. So, all right, so what are you super like excited or passionate about like, doing in the future, like going forward?
So, right now, I am very passionate about one, I also started a podcast. We're setting it up, which is amazing. And I'm also passionate about being passionate in general. Just like anything that excites me, do it. If anything, that I trying and learning new things, because who knows if I'm passionate about gardening. I'm in that stage right now, just trying everything and making content and documenting it, posting it, anything. Yeah. For instance, I posted a video of me making a flower arrangement. It was random. People thought it was random, but it did really good. And it was just random. And I had fun doing it. That's what I wanted. I want to learn more about myself by just trying everything that I might think that I would like. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm very excited about. Also, my TikTok is something I'm very passionate about right now, especially trying to move away from very short content, just dances, or maybe switching it up because I do truly believe that making short, like 7-second content is messing with people's brains a lot. Yeah. And screwing with their attention span. So I'm focusing on like when answering people's questions, really making that person seen. You know what I mean? And especially when I'm streaming, I don't just like think of as my viewers as a number of like 400 people watching. I'm trying to read everybody's name, tap on their profile, look at their real name instead of their username, look at their bio. I try that, even though it's hard, but I try as much as possible to make everybody seem like they are seen by me, because it's very important to me, because these people are the reason why I have the life I have. These people are the reason why I can just be myself and pay my bills from being myself. You know what I mean? So they are seen by me every single day, not as a whole. I mean, as a whole, but also as individuals.
Dude, so this is what I think you should do for sure is like use TikTok as an acquisition model, set up like your community, and then drive people to the community, and then not only do like lives, like do your TikTok lives, but also do like more in-depth videos inside the community. They could be live too. They could be live and recorded, and then like on a topic like overcoming like negativity,
Yeah.
switching your mind to positive, and you just like go live for like an
Right.
hour, 2
I
hours,
want
and
to
then document
start
that.
like a thing of like just a little playlist of picking one card and going in depth with that card, things like
Yeah,
that. You know what I mean? Because that's
yeah,
something I'm
dude,
very passionate about.
that would be sick.
The really main thing I'm passionate about right now, I told you this earlier in the car, that is finding the connections between spirituality and science and religion. Those three together, literally, that's what captures my attention so
Yeah.
much, because I feel like that's so important to me. At least I'll even go in deep to learn about physics, because it just
Well, yeah.
shows you everything. And then I'll learn about how Homo sapiens were, like I'll literally go in depth of little YouTube videos of people teaching you about Homo sapiens, like all the different breeds of humans that were on Earth, even like theories of people, humans before that happening, ancient things happening. You know what I mean? So like, that's what I'm passionate about. That's one thing I can 100% with confidence say that I am struggling with, is trying to figure out how to make good content about that I'm passionate about. Sometimes it's hard for me to put into words and me not judge myself from other people's eyes saying like, this dude's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That doesn't matter.
But I do have to get rid of that. And there's a lot of times I do get rid of that.
I think like the only reason anyone would say this dude's crazy is because they don't know like
They don't understand.
X, Y, Z, all
Right.
the things prior to like come to that conclusion. So if you could develop a skill of like taking someone from like the beginning and articulating like little pieces of all that information up until why you think this is the right thing, that'll like connect with them a lot more.
That's why the science is important.
Yeah, that's
you know
why
what I mean?
I love science and like the universe and everything. And Jonathan Livingston Seagull, you should just listen to the audio.
I think I've listened to him a lot.
It's fucking dope. Anyway, but anyways, yeah. It like, I feel like bridging the gap between religion, you just have to like meet people where they're at, because like someone will always just be this is Jesus, this is whatever, and it's just based on a story. But if that's how they could connect based on that word to like a higher power, then just just let that be it. But like when people start like preaching to me about like Jesus died for you and like trying to put that on me, that's where I'm like, look, dude, I get it.
Yeah.
But like, I believe this, and like it's all the same really. Like you just don't need to be all like Jesus to me. Jesus finger me.
This is where I think it is. I think the truth is everyone is right. Even atheist is right.
That's true.
Everyone is right and everyone is wrong. That's how I think of it as.
Yeah.
Like there's right and wrong in everything, but everyone together, every human together is God.
Yeah.
Every human together is God. Like if you were to go in space and see and look down at all the humans, we are one.
Yeah,
you'll
it's like
see
a
it all
cell.
connecting.
It's just an organism,
right?
Existing. So we're all like little cells. Like we're all part of the whole organism.
Right. So what I was thinking about is when you think about what the universe is made of, I go as deep as the universe is literally made of what people care about and what people love, and that's how things get formed, and like thoughts and things they care about. I got so deep into this.
I don't think it's people though. It's like more so like consciousness, because like or beyond, like maybe it's just God, or like it's like a bigger universal consciousness of like what you're saying, like what people love or what like is love.
I'm saying this 3D universe is that. But of course, in the other dimensions, I had this drawn out one time and people were looking at me. But like, so basically, spiritual or consciousness, God, universe I'm looking at it as like this cloud of energy, right?
Yeah.
So then if we're all made from this cloud of energy, act like there's like 3 people drawn right here. This cloud of energy is inside all of us, and that's our consciousness, right?
Yeah.
So we're all made from this. So that's when people say
true.
we are all one, that's what they're talking about. We are all one because we're all made from God, and we're all from that same source.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, that's true. It made me think of this thing where it's like there's only actually one consciousness, and we're just all tapped into it from
Yes.
our perspective of
Yes.
things. And so like the answer to everything, every thought ever thought, like they're not yours, but
Yeah.
also
They're floating.
everything is just there.
Yeah.
And so you could tap into the
ether.
universal
That's
consciousness, the ether, and connect with like whatever information you want to connect with.
Anytime. As long as you believe. That's another word I like is believe, bro. Because if you believe in this, if you don't believe in it, you'll never get tapped into that. Maybe you sometimes accidentally you'll tap into it, but then you'll throw that thought away because you're like, what did I just think? You know what I mean? But then the people that really believe and really think about that, that's a whole system of all humans thought. It probably, I don't know, sometimes I think of it looking like the cross DNA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all that information, you can tap into that anytime you want because it's like my whole situation I went through, anyone could literally get that information if they really sat there and believe it's out there in the ether. You know what I mean? Because that's very true. And we talked about so many theories, right? And I think all of them are true.
Yeah.
Because it is, the universe is infinite.
Yeah.
Anything and everything is true.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's nothing.
Dude, you know what's crazy is like the universe is so like this dude Sam I talked to on like the last podcast is the universe is so fucking immense and expanded that it's like limited by like the verbiage and the human experience.
Concepts.
That we could even conceive as humans because we're limited by like our eyes, ears, mouth, nose,
senses.
Words. Yeah. So like there's even so much more beyond that.
That have no words.
That don't even have words or we can't even conceive because we're just humans.
That's why scientists say life as we know it, because that's all. It's
life as we know it. Because
there could be life that's made out of silicone. That we have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's true. I watch so many stuff about and read so much stuff about this that I get in so depth that I'll make my own word up for it. You know what I mean? Because there is no word for it, but it's like it, and that's what fascinates me right now.
That's dope.
Question. That's literally what fascinates me right now. So going from the beginning to now, I'm proud of myself for even being able to get from a place of straight zero awareness, zero on autopilot monkey brain, and just doing what my ego says, ego, 29 hits, ego death. Even though there was still there, it was dwindling away years. I'm 32 now. And now that's what excites me is the truth, the universal truth. Even what humans think is true and knowing it's true, it's just a piece of the truth. And I think what's most important to me is letting everyone know that we are one. You know what I mean? We are all one. And that little thing I told you about with the God, universe, source, consciousness, is we are a piece of that or all of it, just in different perspectives.
Just divided
trying to experience different perspectives and trying to experience like not being alone. You know what I mean? I think that's mainly what I think you taught me that too. So that's what captures my excitement right now and passion, honestly.
Let's freaking go, bro. Well, I think it's been like an hour and a half.
I got one more thing.
Let's drop it on him, bro.
So, wait, maybe I don't. I just had it. Oh, yes, I do. So I was asked, what am I afraid of?
That's a good question.
This is the last one. So we'll do this again. We're right here. You guys, when you guys watch this, you can ask whatever questions. We'll answer it. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna answer this and you answer it. We're gonna pretend this is a question from our viewers. Okay.
Okay.
So what am I afraid of? The thing that I'm afraid of right now, and I thought about this because someone asked me this a while back, is falling back into autopilot, monkey brain, and that's my biggest fear right now. Is if I ever lost my awareness, like I don't think self-awareness. I don't think you can either, but there's sometimes that like when I move back in with Eric, it depends on the people I'm around. Right. Like when I moved back in with Eric that one time, I was acting low-key kind of the same and it was scary. You know what I mean? But luckily when I moved out, I got real spiritual and alone and everything.
Yeah. So what do you actively do to prevent that?
Solitude. Like make sure that I take a lot of alone time. Alone time is the main thing that helps me Because the reason why I almost lost it when I was living with Eric, because there was no boundaries. He burst into my room whenever, and whenever he did, I didn't say anything. I just hung out with him. You know what I mean? So now I just make sure to lock my door. I am like romantically in love with my alone time right now because it's brand new for me. It's still brand new, and that's where I feel like I learned the most about myself and the situations, and I could feel the most great gratitude when I'm alone and everything. You know what I mean?
So what do you do in that alone time? Do you just
sometimes I just live. Sometimes I talk to myself. Sometimes I'll look in the mirror and start like trying to attract things. Sometimes I'll write in my journal. Sometimes I'll be creative, do art, anything. But a lot of times it's mostly like just trying to stay in the moment, phone in another room or off, and then just try to stay in the moment, because that's one of my biggest weaknesses is trying to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's my other weaknesses, which is organization, is coming from, is because when I'm not in the moment, I'm scatterbrained. You know what I mean? So I have gotten a lot better about it, and now I'm a lot more organized. Wouldn't you think?
Let's go.
What are you, Oscar Cardona, what are you afraid of?
Oh, dude, like I think you have to be a level of like super vulnerable to like really answer that question truthfully.
Yeah.
But I think like my biggest fear is not being successful, not being a good enough provider for my family, and then losing all of my, which even if it happened, like it would actually be like a super blessing, right? Because you just look for you look for the blessing or the positive in it, and then you'd be able to construct something like but right now, and that was like a huge crippling fear I went through last year, was basically just fear of losing it, because last year I had the most money I ever had, and I lost the most money I ever lost as well. But it's because I had that fear, and I was so hyper focused on the fear, and it happened. I like totally manifested it. So right now, in like the current state of affairs that I'm in, is like I'm super nimble, and like I don't have like a fear of like losing anything, because there's not much to lose. And
if you lose it, you can get it back.
Dude, my like baseline like standard of living is so like easy to me to manifest, like for that like, and it's still a great life. And that's what I was kind of talking to you about in the car, is like my life is so dope and so chill and so easy and laid back, and like it's just like cool as fuck that like it's hard to dig deep and like get passionate or excited about something else to like build something, because it's fucking hard. And if you're not passionate or super stoked on it,
you won't want to do it.
You won't do it, because it's like not
just like anybody clocking into work. They don't want to do it, so they get depressed going into work.
Right.
It's the same thing. And if we choose to do something and get halfway making money on it, and it's not your passion. Yeah,
it's just hard.
It's going to be the same as clocking in every day.
Yeah, it is. And so I just had this meeting with like all my guys, was like that, dang, I don't even know where I was going with it. Something about like my graphic designer, he called me out. He's like, dude, you've been fucking lazy. And I was like, dude, low key, my life is so chill. But right now I feel like excited about building these new products for the company, and like doing these funnels and these paid communities and stuff, that
love it.
It really is getting me excited and passionate. And like the beautiful thing is like when you're in that state of being that present moment of excited and passionate, like there's no way you could feel fear. It's like impossible.
You're right.
Because like 100%. You're charged up, so you're like afraid. What's the worst that could happen? Like, you know what I mean?
You're right.
I'm afraid of what? So
because fear can control you.
Yeah.
And that's
like fear-based decisions.
Important superpower to have is learn your fear. That's why I asked that question, because before my biggest fear was homelessness. That was my biggest fear. Because I always kind of straddled that line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now that I went through it, when I left that twins house, and I was like scared, but I was like, oh wait, I'm Airbnb hopping. Even though it cost me $7,000 for 4 weeks to Airbnb hop.
Yeah, you did it.
I did it, and I survived it. I'm like, now I'm not scared of that. What am I talking about? That was service level fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, then I really thought about it, because when someone asked me that question, I was like, I gotta sit and think, because I'm not even afraid of death right now, because it happened 42 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've low key already experienced that too. So now I'm like, I really sat there and thought, like, what am I afraid of? And that's the only thing I could come up with was
fear of just going back to that life,
being around the wrong people.
Yeah.
Accidentally, because it can happen. You can accidentally slip into the wrong type of people.
Bounce. You could just leave. You could always just open the door and walk away.
So and like for instance, like me and you are the type of person that we can walk into any negative building and be the light in that building, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I love that superpower that I have because
we
I
are
feel like it's a
similar
part
in
of
that.
my purpose on earth is to be, because I look evil, so I can fit in, right?
Yeah.
Until I start speaking and people are like, whoa, wait, what is going on? He doesn't speak like us.
Yeah.
Like,
You
this is
letting the light
weird,
in.
right? And
Yeah.
So I love that, and I actually feel like this is a purpose of my life too, because it's funny when people always say you look so handsome before the tattoos and stuff, but when I feel like if I would have not done what I did, which I absolutely love the way I look, but for other people, 99% of people hate this. But as soon as they speak to me, they are no longer judging me. They see my soul when they talk to me, right? So if I would have not done this, I would have probably always had an ego. You know what I mean? Because I just wouldn't have woken up. I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know for sure, but I feel like this is the ultimate way to optimize my spirituality.
That's.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
So
That's deep.
This was a very, very good conversation. We definitely have to do this again, man.
Because I feel like, I do feel like I feel like I'm attractive. I even like said in one of our like the sales things I built, I was like, to get clients and start in business, like when I was in the dating scene, I just thought every girl wanted me, like,
right?
Because I'm fucking handsome, I'm
that's
dope,
okay
and like too. You know what I mean.
There's a difference between confidence and ego. Obviously, you know this.
Yeah.
So like my ego was this is how you can tell the difference. My ego, was not confidence back in the day because as soon as I got the girl, I would treat them like absolute nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't care about their feelings. Didn't feel empathy. Sometimes there'd be here and there, but now if I were to meet a girl, even just as a friend, I'm the most empathetic, almost like we're in a relationship, but just because I care. I know to love to survive. That's the way to survive. That is.
Well, and you have a superpower too that like and you had this power even before you were self-aware. You are really good at picking up like energies, like cuz I remember when we used to film and like even just like the slightest like me thinking like having a mood shift or like being annoyed with the request or something, I don't even have the time to like process it cuz I'm just like reacting to like something,
right?
And you'd be like, "Are you okay? Like what, how do you feel?" Or like whatever, like you've always done that. So like being aware of that superpower and understanding it is probably making you even more powerful.
I think that's what it is. And see, the unawareness that even though I knew, that's called the devil's advocate. Whenever you can try to make everyone in the room comfortable, even though it's almost impossible. But like for instance, like if there's like three other people in here, but I feel like you being uncomfortable in him, so I'll say something instantly to make it neutral. Because it's so uncomfortable for me to feel any energy, like someone have animosity or someone sad, but I wanted to just get right back to the base level almost every time. And sometimes that's even entertaining for people to watch. You know what I mean? So that's why it's good. But now that I'm aware of it, I can even go deeper into that, even when I'm by myself and think about that and be like, oh, I understand why this happened. I see why this happened. And that's why I feel like it's important. That's why I'm stimulated by all these kind of conversations. Yeah. And it's to finally it's hard to find people like you to talk to about this, because a lot of people look at me and they're like, you're still on drugs, huh? Or like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people still think, my mom is one of them. She'll look at me and be like, Quest, are you okay? And I'm like, Mommy, come on. I'm trying to have a serious conversation, higher version of a conversation.
Dude, but there are people, like, you know, it's crazy. It's like average population thinks you're crazy. And then when you start getting into the room with like people who are like really, really successful, like not just like millionaires, but like 100 millionaires and stuff like that, they understand the universe. Like you don't sound
it's
crazy
wild,
to
huh?
them. Yeah, it's like, but there's a gap. I think you still, even to make like a single million, like all the guys
to have
who
some type of awareness like that. Yeah.
So I mean, not all of them.
I said this. I said this 50-50. To, I forget who I said it to, but I said this in general. So any good scientist will find that God is real. Any real scientist will understand that God is the universe. The universe is source. Source is consciousness.
Yeah.
And so any good scientist will understand that God is real. Maybe not that word.
I think in their own way, yeah.
Yes.
In their own way.
So they will, but then they'll, if it's a good enough scientist to believe that, to have enough empathy towards like religion, they'll be like, they'll understand like what their words, it's like metaphorically in there. Some of it's even true. So what I believe is like Jesus was 100% right.
Yeah.
He was God.
But so are you.
Everyone is that. And see, when Jesus said that to people, they crucified him.
Yeah. But he even said, like, I don't know the exact scripture, but he's like, as you are, like, you are God too. Like, it's not just
Everyone
like,
is God.
I'm God and you're not God. It's like, we're all God. Like,
and see,
for
if
real.
I were to say that to like a Christian person, they would want to crucify me.
Yeah.
Like, so like it's so relevant right
it's
now
so
too.
Random, yeah, like that. It's just because it goes against their beliefs
Yes.
and it challenges like the fabrics of their reality,
Yeah.
and they're defensive of it. That's the only thing it is.
And they actually have a full book that they study, and that's all they know.
Well, and that book
You know what I
is
mean?
there's a lot of really deep wisdom in it,
Yeah.
but it's like you have to interpret it and apply it into like your own life in order for it to like be like relevant. Otherwise, it's not.
And you think deeper into this. Don't just see the word and memorize it. You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
like put it. Yeah, you like you said, put it into your life, make it relevant in your life, or just try to be empathetic, like become that character.
Yeah.
And literally feel what it was like he was feeling or she was feeling. And I have my own Bible, but that's what I do when I read it. I'm just kind of I think of it as if I was going through it. And the final thing that I've thought of was Jesus was real, 100%. He understood that he was God, what we and you understand. And because he said that, they killed him.
Yeah.
So like, and it's still relevant today, because if we were to say that, people would shun us, or maybe not kill us because it's illegal, but
no, but that's true. That's so okay. So Jesus knew these universe powers, right?
Yeah.
And he started to really hone them and use them by like making a tree sick, by healing someone's cancer, by walking on water. Like, who knows if those stories were true, or if
people blind see.
Yeah. Like making bread, like whatever he was using, people were starting to see the results.
Yeah.
And so I do think that like if we were like Jesus in those days with like zero distractions, like, 10-hour a day meditations, like being able to practice your universe power, like maybe you can shift matter, maybe you can walk on water, maybe you can do these things. And so because that information is, I don't know if you're familiar with the occult, like the word. So the occult, right? So Christian people think the occult is like devil worshiping and like weird magic, black magic. But the occult is like the stuff that Jesus was doing that is too like, what do you mean you could like control people's minds? What do you mean you could bend matter? Like it's just and it's not good or bad because it can be used for either direction. It's just powers that make a certain like religion or people in power nervous. And so that's the occult, those books exist, and that type of information is there for you to harness,
of course. And that's what Jesus harnessed.
But people
and understood.
And it's because Jesus was crucified, and these like the Freemasons, Illuminati, whoever these people are, like people want to label them, they understand that if that information was like out publicly, they would be crucified for it. So it's kept a secret, and it's like brought in through like secret societies and like secret books, and that's why it's a secret. And that's like real.
So let me ask you something. Do you feel that more and more societies waking up to these truths like that? Because that's what I see. And I think I talked to you about because we're in the fourth dimension right now, all of us as humans, and that's time, like space and time. So the fifth dimension is the next shift that the earth is supposed to go through. And there'll be a lot of people that don't make it to that, but it's not like they die. It's more like the people in the fifth dimension will just be able to create what they want instantly. And like attract everything instantly. And it's kind of how there's a lot of people in the fifth dimension living around us right now. You know what I mean? It's just a mindset.
Dude, so this is so dope that you we're talking about this. So in every religious text, Jesus will come back, right? In Christians, like there will be a second rising. In Jewish people, it will be like the coming of time or whatever. The fifth dimension. So all that means is that when everybody is on a high positive vibration as a collective society, so if every single person was vibrating as high as possible, then the reality that would create would be that fifth dimension or that second coming of Jesus. Or like if there are like higher spiritual beings, everyone would be able to see them and acknowledge them, and they would come because of everyone's at a higher vibration so they could see it.
You're right.
So that's all it is. So like can you get there individually? Yes. Like there's even stories of like
For
people
sure.
ascending to where they like evaporate.
Right.
Like, you know, that like they ascend so high that they like literally just dematerialize and
Right.
go up to the next dimension. So like I think that you could get there, but when the society as a whole gets to that space, then that will be like
The new Earth.
the new coming
Yeah.
when like the
and it
holy
might
time
be
or whatever.
like how the dinosaurs died. Like that might be what people acknowledge that don't move on to the fifth dimension, because it will be some people not
maybe,
moving on, and that's what it'll look like, maybe a flood
or a
or
catastrophic
something that kills
catastrophe
that Earth, and
Yeah.
then everyone else will wake up the next
In
day
a
like it
high-
didn't happen.
Yeah,
You
and
know
a
what I
really
mean?
high, or it could be something like like an actual meteor or an actual thing
Yeah.
that mass murders a lot of people, and
Yep.
then the people that are left are just like at a really high frequency.
Or yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
And
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
an or. It's not by. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
could be the truth, and
Yeah,
everyone dies,
yeah,
and then we
Yeah.
all move to another Earth.
exactly.
And that's what it
Or
looks
higher
like
dimension.
to the humans that like take that Earth, the million years that go by, and then a new Adam
Yeah.
and Eve are born. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
or
and then
just
they get
cellular.
can see what's happening on that Earth. But I believe that the universe is so infinite that those people that are dying
Yeah.
are moving to a whole separate Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know
Or
this
just
is woo-woo
different.
to people that living out there, but
Yeah.
I like I said, I've died.
Yeah,
before.
and any of those are
Real deaths.
potentialities.
And every time I've died and learned my lesson, things attracted almost instantly. Almost
crazy.
instantly. And you have to look for it sometimes, and you have to believe it.
Right.
But when it happens, it takes the awe. It's like, oh. It's like, what? And that's when you start believing it. And some people will call it mental illness. Some people will call it, like, a lot of people
Whatever.
look at us, and I struggled with that for a very long time. But nowadays,
Well, dude.
I really, truly don't care about other people's opinions. And I think that that's why 99% of my comments on TikTok and stuff are just people talking shit about my looks, for me to get this superpower of not caring about people's other opinions. You know what I mean? Because I literally have
that's-
zero care
that's-
about other people's opinions about me, especially when it's about my looks. You know what
Dude,
I
I
mean?
know. I like got a video to go mini viral on YouTube, and then it was like comments like, "This guy's stupid. What does this
Right.
guy know? This guy's an idiot. What are you smoking?"
Right.
Like just I'm like, holy crap, that's so
Right.
crazy.
And now you know I
That's
deal
so
with that
crazy.
every day.
That's crazy,
So
dude.
and there'll even be comments people saying like, "Oh, you should have died when you had cancer," blah blah blah. And I'm just like, damn. But
Those
you
are
know,
just kids.
it's people that they're exposing their inside. They're
That's
literally
their
talking
reality.
So it's funny because I'll read like a comment saying, you look like shit or something, right? But it's really their spirit inside saying, you
Yeah.
pointing back right at them, are being like a shithead. Stop wanting to comment this. Like it's literally talking back to themselves. And every time if I write back to them and say something like, "I love you still," I'll literally say that to people talking the meanest thing to me. I'll say, "I still love you, and I think you're beautiful inside and out." I'll say that to people saying the meanest stuff to me. They'll reply saying, "I was just kidding. Oh my gosh, I was just kidding. I love you. I've been a fan forever." And it's almost 80 to 90% every time I reply something nice like that. It's like, first of all, it gets ratioed with likes. Like my likes would just go crazy on that comment because people do not expect me to be that empathetic towards people that are mean to me. Second of all, 90% of the time that person says they're joking, or they DM me and say, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know that was your soul. Like you look evil." Like, you know what I mean? So that's my purpose. I like being that human being that looks crazy to people on the outside, but as soon as they see my soul and even a glimpse of my soul, they're like, "Whoa."
Dude, okay, I got a question for you. Let's say you unlock the superpower of unlimited money. What are you doing to impact humanity, or just like with your time?
I think about that a lot.
Because I really genuinely feel like I could unlock it for you.
Right.
But
I think about that a lot.
I think the universe is...
That's something I do sometimes struggle with, but it's something. So for instance, me moving into my new apartment, I want the power to be able to just be like, "Hey, I moved in here with Steven and David." I could be like, because Steven instantly started talking about like, "Hey, I got 2 jobs now. I got to make more money and stuff," right? So I would love to just be able to instantly, as soon as someone say that, just hand it over, give them money, and especially the people that are around me, boost them up to their highest selves. You know what I mean? Help them get on their spiritual journey as much as possible. Plus, obviously, like, there's so many like opportunities in just me going through my life, going through the drive-through, anything, just being able to put a smile on people's faces by, even if it's just some money, if it's just food, whatever it is. That's what it might be. Even sound selfish for me because it makes me feel good to help someone like that. You know what I mean? So
Dude,
that would be
that
my
would be sick to do
overall
those
thing.
like videos of you just giving away like $10,000 or
That's
whatever.
that is literally my goal, because that I thought about it for a long time, because I was like, as soon as I am able to do that, which even though I feel like I'm doing it right now, because
Yeah, yeah.
like even just with my words, I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
helping people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Or but as soon as I'm able to give them something like instantly and change their entire life, not just with words, but with other stuff, and like that is going to be my thing
Dude, that's
of
gonna be so sick.
fulfillment, you
Yeah,
know?
I totally see that. Like, I totally see you blowing up with that. Like, just like actually like changing people's lives like
Yeah.
really crazy and becoming like a really more powerful and like I think I think yeah, I know you personally.
Yeah.
So I that those are your superpowers. I think like to really make you like a next level powerful being is
Yeah.
like you just need a team.
Yeah.
And I think you know that too. An organized team that's like working on a
Like-minded.
direction.
That's the main thing that I thought about. Like-minded team is hard to find that all
Yeah.
knows the
goal,
goal.
and the direction
Everyone that
and the
knows the goal,
energy.
the energy, the vibe, that everything, that everybody's in the same mindset, that
Yeah.
knows what's about to happen. Like this right here is such a blessing to me, man. This us sitting right here, because this is something I've wanted to do for so long, and this right here literally is kind of starting an engine for me to be like, there's the confidence, there's what I wanted.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted, to speak about this, because I've never felt confident enough to speak about this and post it, because I just felt like people would judge me, and I'm usually really good with that, not caring about people's judgments, because I'm good at talking about this stuff on TikTok Live. But as soon as it's a full video, that's when I'm like, people are going to talk shit, because people talk shit about me all the time.
Yeah.
But this right here is a huge dimensional shift.
Let's freaking
reality
go.
shift, that as soon as I get some clips, I'm posting it with no fear.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll make sure you get a bunch of clips. Well, dude, too, like, I feel, I always, that's why I like the documentary attempt. Like, I always feel really inspired. I know you have something that can impact a lot of people. We just have to unlock it with, like, just doing, like, moving stuff around in the universe.
I think the more seamless, for just me personally, the more seamless it is, like this is just chilling, instead of being a podcast with the camera on me, lighting. This right here, it could be just a part of the what we were trying to make. You know what I mean?
Like a community.
This could the
like the funnel?
documentary.
Oh yeah.
This right here, I think, is a better format for the documentary than what we did, because I'm just more chill. I was scatterbrained because I was more nervous, and it was you were pulling me out of bed basically at like 3 p.m. But like right here, just doing stuff that's seamless like this is what motivates me to like just keep surfing. You know what I mean? Just keep surfing, because it makes me happy.
Yeah.
You are a sign for me, because you've been in my life
for a long time,
and we love talking about the same things, and you understand me, bro. I don't think you understand. You might understand, but bro, it's so nice to be able to talk to someone about this stuff that don't think I'm crazy. You know,
you don't
what I mean?
have anybody else that like this makes sense to, like, on a level.
My sister sometimes, and then my other roommate David. And first time ever, like 3 days ago, my mom kind of talked to me, but very like if this was the surface, we got to like right here. But other than that, it was like, because the thing that got through to my mom was like, Mommy, you're actually a very good blueprint for me, that you built a slice of heaven on this earth, living up there. And that's what got through to her when I said that. So fine, because it was hard to get through to my mom. But when I said that, she literally was like, oh, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we kind of opened up, but that's another thing. I'm glad I learned that, because now I can learn how to talk to others, to open up their mind to this kind of stuff.
Dude, it's a superpower.
Sometimes you can't force it neither, because they might not even be, their purpose might be to be a monkey
Just-
brain for
yeah,
the rest
yeah.
of their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you
living
can't
out
force
like
it.
because they're like living out a karma that's created in other
Yeah.
people's lives, and like that whole ecosystem of like
Right. So
the
when there's-
manja.
Yeah.
Like,
So when there's
exists.
people that don't understand it, maybe they're just meant to not understand it
Yeah.
for the rest of this life at least. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
That's
dude,
true.
This is a great conversation. I'm
This
so
was like
happy,
one of
bro.
the best podcast episodes.
I'm so happy, man.
The Jason Jowo, then this one. I'm about
Yeah.
to just like
Is it gonna
chop
be on
'em up.
YouTube?
Yeah, I'm about
Good.
to literally just. I'm gonna probably just like post it like tomorrow or
Cool.
something.
So I want you to come on my podcast
Let's go.
too. So
When?
guys, it's on YouTube, QuestG TV.
QuestG's TV.
I already have a podcast up there from like 2017 when I lived in Cali. It's a good one. You should watch it. And I look totally different. But he's gonna be our first guest
Let's
on
go.
this new podcast at my house actually. So yeah, look out for that. Follow me
Let's
on
go.
QuestG TV QuestG TV on YouTube, TikTok, and my Instagram is QuestG. But yeah, if you guys like what we're talking about, make sure you subscribe, you hit that bell, and you like this video and comment and share it out to everybody. I'm
Share that
telling
thing
you
out.
that it's hard to find a community that really likes to talk about this kind of stuff in depth like this, but when you do, it is the number one community to be a part of. I'm telling you right now, so
Let's
be a
go.
part of it, y'all.
Yeah, bro. Well, we're launching a new community for QuestG.
Yeah,
and it'll be
100%.
exactly about that.
That's
and
why
I'm
you're gonna
excited.
need to follow my other stuff.
100%.
So that way you get notified
that.
with that stuff.
There
know
you
what I
go,
mean?
dude. Anyways, Quest, yeah, this was fucking awesome.
That was fun.
I think that also, yeah, like we have a way deeper relationship. Maybe people don't know, but we've been
known
in
each other for a
contact.
long time,
And we've stayed
even
in
when
the-
we were monkeys,
Yeah, we were monkeys
just monkey
together.
and then we both woke up on our separate journeys, but we came back together.
Yeah, we've always had a really good connection. So yeah, so I'm stoked that we could, share this
And
time.
we're gonna do this again.
And we're gonna do it over and over again. And we're gonna probably, dude, I'll have you bring you on to like part of my community, because the community we're building is like a social media thing for business
it.
owners. So like
That's
I'll
good
have
for me
you
too.
talk about
Love it.
like how you went viral and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I don't know.
We'll do this again about that
All
that solely.
Oh yeah,
Because
we're
I could
going
get into a whole nother part
side
of my
that.
brain,
Yeah.
and just go in depth with
With
how
the
I go
social media.
viral, my secrets. What do we call it? We call it
I don't know.
cracking the codes.
Cracking the codes.
That's it.
Let's
But yeah,
freaking go.
thank you, bro. This was nice. How long was this?
Like an hour and a half, 2 hours almost.
Nice,
So we're
dude. That's a solid
5,
combo.
10, 15. We're 15 minutes away from 2 hours.
This felt like a healing. This was healing.
Let's go.
I love that, bro.
Let's cut that
Let's
out.
cut it.
Dude, that was